today in Tech Talk Tuesday for Teachers. It's my pleasure. I'm Meenakshi Oberoi, and it's my pleasure to invite you here and to welcome you here in this session. I'm absolutely elated to see you here to talk about another topic that's very close to my heart, and that is assessments and the feedback that we often draw the blurred lines or uh, walk the talk with the loops for students. So I'm going to talk about both assessment and feedback loops for student growth, and explore how AI tools can supplement this. I am going to allow Tuhita to say hello to you before I move onwards, so that she'll introduce you to many basic things as well, and hygiene as well. Tuhita.
Thank you so much. Good evening, everyone. It's always a pleasure to have you in the session when you see names which are familiar and who are joining in regularly for our Tech Talk Tuesdays. We have our dedicated chat window. Please do introduce yourselves, your good name, the school from which you are, and the city definitely. It always adds on. And if there are any doubts or queries, please do share in the chat window. It's always great to have a lively session, to have an interactive session, because that is the session is all about when both the sides are speaking. Thank you.
Thank you, Duita. That was really nice of you to, give us the basic outline. Really important for us to have an absolutely conversational audience here. Therefore, please do stay very active in the chat window. As you would have probably understood, I am a little bit under the weather. Will be coughing a lot, so kindly excuse me for that. I apologize in advance for that, but I'll try my level best to keep up. So, AI-powered assessment and feedback loops can be transformative. In fact, in the environment like ours, where we thrive to give students uh, you know, the best of the probabilities that we have to offer, there is a very beautiful space for feedback loops and assessments to go hand in hand, supported by AI. While we use machine learning to collect all of the data analytics is something that you don't have to worry about, because that is something that happens real time. So unlike the traditional assessments, these tools, which are AI powered tools, adapt dynamically to the student's ability level. For example, adaptive quizzes or intelligent tutoring systems. So there are multiple systems that are AI powered that are available. They analyze the patterns in student responses, look at the multiple domains of language, reasoning, speed, and more, and provide an ongoing feedback rather than just a year end or uh, just a concept end feedback. So while the progress and the growth relies completely on these feedback loops, I must pause here to define a feedback loop. A feedback loop is actually the most powerful piece, which, when it comes continuous, timely, and actionable. So, what happens is these AI powered tools, they become like an instant gratification tool for me, because while I'm talking, it instantly tells me or immediately gives me an insight into what I've misunderstood and why, and then it gives me targeted practice based on that. So it'll look at my mistake, and it'll offer me questions depending on my mistakes or my misconception or hinting towards that side. And also, it's very motivating because many tools gamify this feedback as well. For growth metrics, they will say that about let's say 76% of your answer is correct. However, you can leap forward into the rest of it by following these steps. So you've improved in inference based questions, which means, like, 18%, let's say I've improved. It'll tell me, how much have I improved. So these are some of the pieces that I wanted to open the conversation for you in the chat window as well. But like every time, I am going to go ahead and ask you to introduce yourself in the chat window. Share your name, school name, and city from where you're joining. And it's absolutely lovely to see all of you joining in here. The question that I have for you is, when you hear AI plus assessment, I'm sure each one of us will get very greedy. But tell me something. What is that one thing that you want AI to do for you? Okay. So give me in the chat window, what is that one thing that you want AI to do for you? Go for it. Fill our chat window with responses so that we can actually take a look at what is it that you're looking for to offload to. Don't want to use the word offload, but probably share your load with AI, or take help of AI powered tools to do. So what is it that you would want AI plus assessment? One thing that if you could say, okay, take this and do this for me, what would that be? All right. Lovely to see you all here. Love to see the various places from where you're joining. Excellent. Great. Keep them coming. And there are these AI trends in education that we are looking at, which is personalized learning, or generative AI content, or AI teachers assisting, or study buddies, and there is a lot of science behind designing all of these. And you will see, as we move forward, you will see that while you are being tutored by these agents or these chatbots, there is there's a very interactive on time feedback and response that you get, which people really really appreciate and like. Yeah. So as your responses keep coming in, I'm going to introduce the agenda for the day. We're going to understand the shift from traditional to AI enhanced assessment practices. We're going to look at exploring practical use case of AI in assessment, feedback, and student support, and reflect on how AI can support, not replace, foundational assessment goals. I have a response, two responses here. Manika ma'am says to effectively analyze and categorize students for identifying gaps. Oh, wow, that is amazing. And planning remediations, so important. And it can be done so simply. Great. We will be talking about that. Structured approach involving data analysis, categorization, and a strategic way forward. Wow. I love when we have a tall ask from AI, because only then we will be able to take a look at what's available and leverage that also. Yeah. So here we are. And Rashmi ma'am says corrections and round the clock feedback for improvements. Let me say, um, moderated corrections and moderated feedback on improvement. Yes. Okay. Fine. You help me and I'll take it forward. Okay. Level wise guidance. Absolutely. Why not? Tiered licenses, your guidance is something very, very important. Sheetal ma'am says to tell people I'm in a meeting but watching a movie on Netflix and enjoying my snacks. Wow, that happened. That happened a lot. That tells a lot about how teacher is going to keep their checks on, because while we are going to do a lot of talking over here, we normally try and keep certain questions. And remember, take a test. Sheetal, you've been one of the most frequently most frequent person who has taken that test. So yeah, you've taken that most frequently. It just came out wrong. So yes, that's our check to see if you were listening, if you were really absorbing what we were saying. So yes, thank you for that. Rethinking assessments. I think that is one thing that we need to take a look at. While rethinking, assessments should help teachers know how individual students are doing, not offloading it to assessment piece to say, okay, I think I put it on AI. AI will know and mark for me. No, not that. But AI should be able to help me to know how my students are doing. Like you said, identify gaps where they are. An assessment helps teachers to know how the class as a whole is doing. So there is no comparison. However, I need to know my students' level and my class level. And of course, assessments help students know their mastery level. Both for students and teachers, assessment can help teachers to know how individual student is doing. Did this particular student master their learning target? Does this student understand the concept? Has this student mastered the skill that I was offering through this activity? Is the student engaged in this learning? Like you said, are they somewhere else? Does the student need additional support or scaffolding? I need all these questions answered so that I can able to identify which students need what type of enrichment in intervention or next level of learning. Yeah. So, small group pullouts is what I need, whether they are on higher level, class level, or not at the class level. I need to identify them. And assessments actually help me tell, take a look at how the class is doing as a whole. It'll help me with the larger lesson planning, or my cycle of planning, implementing, and assessing. It is basically assessment as learning, what I'm talking about. So while it gives me back what I have learned, I do understand that from this piece, if the students have been able to, or my class as a whole has been able to understand this much, and that is what is left, this means my planning has to be rethought and revisited. Therefore, this is an assessment as learning for me to understand where is the gap. And then, of course, there is assessment that helps students know their mastery level. That is your assessment of learning. Have you been able to comprehend what was told? Or whatever you have experienced, or what do you know right now, and what is it that you don't know? An assessment might be able to also increase student motivation. I was, in fact, early this week, I was uh, late last week, Saturday actually, I was in a session, and there we were talking about assessment and feedback, and we all established, and through a survey we did that, we all established that, however much we may say that we fear exams or we fear assessments, assessments help build confidence in our abilities. They help motivating us to be able to achieve more. They help increase our self efficacy. It's very, whatever you might say, if a child has been able to achieve as much, the word achieve in itself gives you the confidence to move forward. So, what we are taking onwards from here is that these assessments will be able to build confidence in the abilities of the child of what they know, and we as teachers will be able to identify what is yet to be known and be able to adjust our working accordingly. While we are rethinking, we have to understand that the difference between traditional assessment and AI enabled. The difference is right here. Feedback. Our feedbacks are normally delayed. Why? Because we do not have time to actually give personalized feedback to each and every student. However much, while you're correcting the work, there are thoughts in your mind, but you cannot really put it on paper because there is so much that you have to do, right? And even if you do, you either meet the child to do or you write it, and that takes time. Therefore, delayed. While AI enabled assessment will give you instant feedback and very personalized one. Grading will be manual for us and automated in an AI. Adaptability is mostly for us, it is one size fits all. I mean, let's agree to disagree there, but we did this small exercise there. Um, I had given them a rubric to evaluate the chocolate chip cookies. Yeah. While they were evaluating, one of the groups, no, actually, three of the groups did not get a pack of chocolate chip cookies. That was intentional. And while these people were evaluating, those who did not get the chocolate chip cookie pack felt disconnected because the rubric was about chocolate chip cookies. So while this was called as not fair, but this was intentional because what we wanted to bring to cognition is even if you were intending to do differentiation, you did give them cookies, but cookies that did not have chocolate chip. Therefore, the learning objective was not met. Differentiation cannot be in face, it has to be in meaning. So we cannot say, I did not do one size fits all. I did give different types of cookies to different tables, but that did not adapt well to the learners. Yeah. So that bit, I think AI can do really well for us, and that works pretty well. Data usage, we do very limited. I mean, yes, there's data. There's only as much that I can extract out of it and understand and comprehend out of it. The rest, we shall see. But here, when you go AI enabled, you are mostly data driven. I'm going to share with you something that I found, which John Spencer has created. I've not created, but I really like. So, I'd like to consider how AI might change our assessment practices in the upcoming years. So, here are five potential trends that we might see: less grading and more assessments. So, that's a prediction. This is not something that has been said just like that. There was an interview with Mark Schneider, which John Spencer had, conducted, and he described how AI will be used in future with speech therapy. And currently, speech pathologists spend hours doing the initial intake tests. Now, the work can be tedious and time consuming. And with that combination, I think generative AI would do a wonderful job with voice recognition as well. And we will be able to evaluate how beautifully the two can run together. So, what we can see is less grading, more assessment on the radar. So, this is one thing that I can talk about. Faster feedback. I think I've spoken enough about it. For this, I think when a student who loves playing baseball has spent hours hitting off a ball, uh, when they are working together as a team, what really, really helps is if someone can right there and then tell them that while practicing your game, you had a stellar hit over there. However, what you can do is next time you can actually add this angle to while you are kicking it off, sorry, while you are going to kick the ball. It's not kick actually. When you're going to put it swing it with a bat, then probably this angle is what might help you. So there and then you've got a feedback. And it is absolutely awesome to see that, while I'm working and I'm working with a simulator, that simulator can tell me exactly what went wrong with my angle and which angle would be better, how much of a lift of an arm can really help. But when I hit and it's a foul, and then your coach tells you that maybe your swing could have been corrected like this, that's where the lag is. I wish I knew, right? So while you were practicing, if these kind of simulations can be brought in, it's excellent. And I think when most of the schools have cricket grounds, basketball grounds, just a simulation out there is an addition that you need for your students to be able to practice. Another trend will be predictive analysis. There's a lot of machine learning that happens when you do assignments on e-assignments, let's call it, on any system, online assignments. The AI algorithms analyze your data, your students' past performance, and develop an understanding about your abilities, identify your gaps. They also look at your interest, attention span, rate of completion of work, and all these data factors really help predict what kind of assignment might lead to increase in your work efficiency. Yeah. So imagine learning about your students' work habits or learning habits can really help you draft adaptive learning. So that's one of the trends that they feel that's going to come in. Trend number four is more differentiation within assessments. Differentiation, I think, takes time, and there's no way that we can just churn something around and go ahead with it. Like I told you, I gave you an example right now, right? So when we have students with different abilities in the classroom, I think it's very important for us to be able to design time for scaffolding learning, and that too at a very personalized level. So with AI, differentiation is much faster and easier. Uh, you might see that in even in reading progress, you will see that that differentiation comes in very organically, and you don't even come to know that what was the word list for the other child, or what's the word list for me. I'm practicing certain words in a very, very personalized manner. So this can help the teacher figure out what the student knows and they don't know, and what do they need to do next. But there is a kind of a privacy in this personalization, and that is a very personalized instruction that each child gets at their own skill level. So that's something that's beautiful, and I absolutely agree that this is going to come in. The fifth trend is empowering students to own the assessment. I think that's our ultimate dream. If we can empower students to own their assessments, and I think we need to dwell deeper into that. What do we mean by owning the assessment process? It is a multi-level process. The first piece being goal setting. I'm going to take these 8 pieces today and I'm going to go deep, sorry, deeper with assessment and feedback on this. The first piece being goal setting. Students can use AI to get personalized recommendations for the areas of their improvement and they can take ownership of their learning. This entire learning process, if we shift the onus, how are we going to do that? Let's start dwelling into that. Magic School AI, and I'll take you there to show you how Magic School AI can do that for you. I'm going to share my screen again. And of course, you can take help from Copilot to be able to design these goal setting. So let's say I need help with the goal setting for grade 5. Why not? Let's just do that, right? So these pieces, I'm just going to take you to my, yeah, here you are. In Magic School AI, you have support for, yeah, now you can see in Magic School AI, you have support for goal creators. This is where your personalized learning begins. You can't do it. That's fine. Just create a room for students. You have magic students. And remember, I think it was during summer summits that we did try these. But over here, it is as simple as this, that you go over here, create a student room. And in that student room, all you need to do is, let's say I'm going to create a new room, right? Now, oh, yeah, I did it in one of the Tech Talk Tuesdays with you all only over here. Yeah, I created the green plants. Now, when you're doing it over here in the student room, you can include um, just goal setting. Okay, how are you going to do that? Go for goal. Type goal over here. You got the goal setting. Just a second. Okay, it's not here. Let me say study. Okay. You will have plenty over here. You can actually give study habits to students. You can give them study bots, whatever you want. Just pick that up from over here and give it to students. Now, as you give these to students and you add in your room, the students will be able to use these to set their own goals. Similarly, you can even ask, for a step by step. Let's say you want a topic or you want these goals set step by step. You can do that. There were more over here. Let me just look. Yeah. And if you want to do it as a teacher, then you go to Magic Tools and over here, simply just write the word goal. Okay. And you have over here your support goal creator. These are the smart goals that you can create. And for every student, you can create, or you can have categories where you create it for students. So these are the different ways in which you can do it. As far as Copilot is concerned, I think just even if you pick this up from here, yeah, let's say I'm going to take this and I'm going to go for Copilot. Let me just see if it's open somewhere here. I normally have it. Yeah, just give me a minute, please. Here you go, chats, and I'm going to go for a new chat. Okay, here I am. Create smart goal tracker aligned to my students' needs. My students' needs for keeping up with their maths work on fractions in grade 4. Let's say, I'm just giving a random one. You can obviously have a very well thought of, prompt over here. And when you do that, now this is the tracker that it's giving you. It's not just making this smart goal for you, but it's giving you a tracker. And when you open this tracker, you can actually go ahead and look, that's an Excel sheet, right? You can give this to students, and students can themselves keep track of how and what they're doing. So they're going to own the ownership, they're going to own this piece, and they will be the ones who will be responsible for these goals, tracking these goals. No one is chasing them, no one is forcing them to do this. They're going to do this by choice, just for a reason that this is my tracker, my growth, my way, my pace, and I can actually carry forward on it. And therefore, you don't need to really sit down to chase them for those goals. You can simply ask the students. So there was this. I'm sure smart goals are used in multiple classrooms. So in our classrooms, what we used to do is we used to keep smart goal tracker. One board was dedicated to smart goals, and names of all the students were below that. Each student had to themselves come and move their smart goal meter to show where are they. They don't need to justify, they don't need to tell you what they are doing, but if where they were in their learning, I will come to know through that marker, and the students had to move their marker themselves. No one will remind them, no one will tell them, but we used to get a class view of where each of my student is in their learning. What that gave me is that gave me an insight that if my students are, let's say, at a level where, I'm looking at making achievable steps, that's where they are. I would offer them fraction strips. I would be able to offer them certain videos to watch. So that lends to their learning. And without my saying that, you go ahead and this is your homework and that you have to do it, there's a choice. So I used to paste a QR code to some videos and say, if you want to access, this is a safe video for you to go and view and it'll help. Very simple way of keeping track with goal setting. Next one, resource recommendation. Very important. All of us need resources. As teachers, students also need resources just like us. They can either go to Copilot. I'm not going to get into that. Copilot is available for them. Two, Khanmigo suggests very good targeted learning videos. So when you are practicing on Khanmigo or when you are on Khanmigo, it'll give you a concept. Let's say I'm doing fractions today. I don't know why fractions is on my mind. Let's say I'm doing fractions. Khanmigo will suggest that before attempting this worksheet, if you want to revisit the concept, here's the video. Go and do it. If you want to practice, these are the practice exercises you can go and practice. And there are other support resources also based on your performance that it'll offer you after you have attempted the worksheet. Similarly, while you are using Math Progress on this Microsoft Teams as a learning accelerator, you will assign the sheet to student will attempt it. It'll there and then give you a real-time feedback of how you have performed and also offer you more questions to practice just the way you have practiced these. Different for teachers, for especially senior students. Very important that they get text, exposure to text in multiple formats. Therefore, recommended level texts and question sets that are tailored to your learning objective. For example, I'm studying about let's say I'm talking about for any concept that we're talking about. Let's say I'm talking about linear equations, right? So I need my students to master linear equations. I have multiple learning objectives there. Yeah. So for linear, did anyone speak in between? Shall I pause? No, I think that's fine. Okay. So, by the end of the unit, let's say, I want my students to know that you should be able to solve a one-step linear equation using addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. And this child has not really understood or, practiced well on the multiplication and division part. So, each child needs to meet that need according to himself or herself on Khanmigo, on Defit, on Math Progress, you can actually tailor these needs and ask those questions only that pertain to that particular learning objective. And of course, the same goes for Magic School as well. You can actually have tailored, pieces. As you can see over here on Magic School AI, you will have intellectual prep as a category. It's an amazing category to explore for resource recommendations. So you can go ahead, explore this for your students, and take more. The next one would be performance feedback. Extremely important. I need to know there and then how am I doing, because the anxiety builds up when you don't know, while you're writing the exam. I have seen thousands of teachers write Microsoft Certified Educator exam, the MC exam. I've helped them prepare for it on 21st century skills. And I know before the exam, like children, all of us are like so nervous, and including myself. I was damn nervous for giving this exam, right? But what happens is, what to do? I know I'm going to sit for the exam, but I will not know what the result is going to be till the exam is over. But I really, really wish that I would attempt one question and I would know. That's the way learning should happen, right? Now, that automated learning happens with Microsoft Reading Progress and Math Progress both, because you come to know there and then. Also, while you're doing your reading comprehension within Microsoft Reading Progress, you come to know there and then. With these kind of insights that are automatically generated for you right at that time, you become more confident in your ability. And if you feel that you're not prepared enough, you can go back, prepare yourself, and then come back for this exam. It gives me an opportunity to grow in my capacity rather than being declarative about what I know and what I don't know, right? Okay. The next one is very interesting because whenever we have students work with us, it's it's the toughest part to give a feedback because you want to say so much, but you can't really say it the way you need to say it, right? Therefore, there are feedback generators, differentiated, standard aligned, that is, learning outcome aligned feedback in seconds can be generating, taking help from Magic School AI. And if you haven't seen that, please go ahead and try that. It's an amazing piece. It's important for us to know that these pieces, you know, they they're not your instant feedback providers. They are your helpers to be able to frame the language that you need to. And I heavily rely on Copilot to help me frame something. So many a times, what I do is I will write a piece, then I'll ask Copilot, make it formal, make it casual, make it more personal. So, it'll help me get better at providing that feedback. And of course, my work becomes much faster. Microsoft Teams assignments, which are AI supported, helps with the rubric based grading, which happens automatically. All you have to do is attach a rubric alongside any assignment. Okay, attach a rubric. And when you are submitting, your rubric descriptors will be taken as feedback and provided to students. So just imagine, it is super simple. I still fail to understand why people do not use Microsoft Teams assignments, because you are investing so much money in buying those LMSs, and these are the smallest practices that you can adapt in your school at no cost at all, right? So this is something that I absolutely vouch for. You must begin using Microsoft Team assignments as your, teacher management tool or learning management tool, because it just makes your life much easier. It makes students' life much easier. The minute they've turned in a homework, you've corrected it. All you need to do is see what level of rubric they are on, and you keep marking, and an automated response, that to a detailed response, goes to the child, not just whether it's correct or not. Um, Another one would be learning portfolios. Extremely important. I think in today's day and age, I cannot lay more emphasis on learning portfolios. I've been making learning portfolios for students since 2006, literally. And I firmly believe in this because just one PTM or one showcase of summative assessment is not enough to show the journey that you and your students have taken together through the year. Therefore, learning portfolios have a very special place in my heart. I've used Class Notebook, OneNote Notebook uh, extensively for recording reflections, for recording students' work. So, how these growth portfolios were shown in a digital format were that you take a class notebook and you're already doing the work throughout the year. Now, that becomes heavy. So, you create a OneNote notebook and then you have your students' page and you link the link of students page over here to show the growth portfolio. However, over here, you show synopsis of the best work done by the student, synopsis of the growth shown by the student. What do I mean by that? Let's say, my student, we do have weekly tests, right? So in those weekly tests, from day one to day Z, how has the student progressed? You keep a simple record through the year in that OneNote notebook, and the students are going to help you maintain that record. Excel sheet can be embedded within your, OneNote. Even a form can be embedded. So just one question form. How much did you score today? And you say five. And the running record remains over there. Now that growth portfolio, when at the end of the year you sit down with a parent to show, it's not just what you have achieved at the end of the year, but the growth that you have been able to show. Probably, you've had some time where you have dipped like anything in your learning habits. However, you have picked yourself back. Now, that's more important for us to acknowledge that, we could see the dip coming in, but I think the child was corrected himself or herself at the right time, and we could see them take that leap, put that effort. So, effort is what is shown at its best through these learning portfolios. So try that; it's amazing. Adobe Express can be a beautiful visual. They have beautiful visual designs for your portfolios, for student resumes in grade 12, and for project reflections. You already have templates available. Start using those if you're not using. QReport has amazing student responses and interaction history that is available for you, and that shows growth over time. With the QReport, you can actually have multiple ways to showcase how the students have been engaging. Yeah. So multiple ways, multiple tools I'm throwing at you, but I hope you're keeping pace. And if you have any questions, I'm happy to pause anywhere that you need. Time management. Yeah. Look, this is what I'm trying to do, manage my time. How do I manage my time? Over here is normally, I have my pop-ups coming to tell me these many minutes left. So I keep that time management tool with me on my mobile phone, where continuously I get, reminders as to this much time is over, this much is left for you to speak. So while you're talking, be mindful. So, Microsoft Copilot in Excel, is something where I would say that, you could ask Copilot to generate an Excel sheet for you, which can create visual timelines and progress trackers for you. Again, please do not maintain it yourself, give it to your students. They maintain it better than us. They are so religious. All you need to do is once a week, tell them that I'm going to check it once a week. You don't need to do it physically. It's all online. You have access for it. All you need to do is go to that sheet to see if they are maintaining the tracker or not. Your life is easier. They are getting self-adaptive habits, and at the end of the day, for both of you, it's a win-win. Then to do scheduling, most of us don't do it. Please use your calendar. It has so many to do things that you don't have to remind your students about homework. One reminder can go on a Saturday evening to the student to say, pack your bag today. Hope you finish your homework, to remember to pack your bag. Or on Sunday evening, pack your bag before you sleep today. Simple practices and habits can like really help. You don't need to sit and send reminders. Pre-schedule them for the whole year, and they'll keep going themselves. These are such simple practices which should go, at least if not to the student, to the parent. You know, even if when they come every week, you're like, yes, of course, I've done it, but at least it's a reminder. I give you a very simple example. I have to take a medicine every night before I sleep. And I can, to save my life, also not remember to have it every night because you will forget. I mean, you're human, right? Only thing that helps is a reminder at 10 p.m. to say, have you had your medicine? Yes, I have. And if I haven't, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to go ahead and eat that before I sleep. So it's that simple. Just before sleeping, and the child gets a reminder, and they're like, oh, I haven't done that. I haven't kept that. They would immediately go and do it. So the parents don't have to chase, you don't have to chase, things are on time. Happy. Okay, facilitating reflection. Reflection is an essential part of assessment and feedback because the students have been through assessment. After learning, they are trying to share what they know. Then comes in the feedback where they come to know about their learning gaps, or what is kind of what's my next step. Now the students are the ones who need to sit down to reflect as to what is it that I have learned, where am I in my learning, where do I go here from next, what is the timeline in which I should have. I know you'll say that there are no ideal students who are going to do that. Therefore, you need these reflection prompts. You need to ask everyone to pause, generate these end of unit or end of the day, or any important milestone. Pause to have these reflection questions. Give reflection questions to everybody. Tailor it to your need using AI, and just give it to students. It's extremely important. You can do this as open questions from QReport as well, or my best bet is go to Microsoft Form. When you have a form, it'll allow you to respond anonymously. That is something that I absolutely appreciate because nothing gets recorded as to what is it that I'm going to say. And collaboratively, we are able to get reflection from everybody. And you know, that privacy in itself gives me the power to say more. It motivates and encourages me to reflect, to say, oh, I think this is something that I could do. Here's, one of the pieces while the students are also, they can record their personal reflections and send you. It's a very simple thing to do, and they get a feedback on what they have done. If they're using PowerPoint to make their reflections, video reflections, and they use Speaker Coach, they not just get uh, feedback that time, but also here it is. This is the summary, and now they can write a reflection about the way they were able to learn using this tool. And if you don't know where this is, do let me know. I'll be happy to show you. Again, like I said, I'm on a reflection piece and I want to know what's missing in my performance. That's one thing every child wants to know. When you get a 63 out of 100, you really want to know where's the rest? Where did I lose it? And it's not just where did I lose it? I want to know how to achieve it. So I want to move forward and onwards out there, right? Number one, of course, Microsoft Excel and Form is something students submit. It detects your gaps and looks at what is it that's missing exactly, right? How do you do that? When you are designing a quiz over there, you are going to give, let's say, an MCQ. There are four options over there. You're not just going to mark the right answer. You're also going to offer why are the others not correct? Yeah. Or let's say, the child has ticked the option C and the correct answer was option B. The child still doesn't know what was the correct answer. So under C, just put the correct answer. At least they know what was the correct answer. Otherwise, what is the point of that assessment? Yeah, simple, very simple, right? Now, Microsoft Insights, they will offer you uh, the journey of a child. They give you a view of where the student is, how far have they come, is there an improvement with the kind of work that we are giving them or not? Is it an adjustment that is required? It identifies any missed concepts through the student exercises. It's a beautiful diagnostic tool that must be used. Give me a minute. I need a sip of water, please. I'm sorry about that. Yeah. And then we have quizzes, AI feedback. I think quizzes is something why I always recommend is because, there are points over there where if you want to revisit or you want to retry, you have that option to give to students. So you can use that. That's something that's amazing. I love it. Personalized feedback, extremely important. All of us need it. Customized formative and summative comments are something that Magic School AI can offer you just like that. You can base it on skill, you can take a rubric, you can take learning levels. It'll offer you amazing feedback. I go to Copilot. You can, use safe prompts to actually generate feedback, or you can even set guardrails. I absolutely love that part of it. That when you give them the next step, also tell them, what are the guardrails? Where could you go wrong? So many of you went wrong at this place. Oh, that gives me comfort. It's just not me who went wrong over here. There were others as well who make a mistake at this step. Yeah, that gives you not just a confidence of moving forward, but also that it's just not me, right? Of course, you are very familiar with speaker coach, reading coach, and math coach. How it looks, AI looks at the way you are responding to the text or the math problem that has been given to you, and it customizes the comment or response to be able to give to you. And what would be absolutely amazing with personalized feedback would be that you are able to offer them chatbots like Rhina, which are in a safe environment, and your students can support their learning using these chatbots. There are gaps. I know that. I want to fulfill, but I need a kind of a path to fulfill this. I can't do this in a day. Therefore, I want you to help me design that if I want to master, let's say, this one step linear equation, how am I going to do? How much time approximately will I need? How much should I practice? Can you make, I can't do more than five in a day. I get bored. Can you make five questions for me to practice each day? There you go. What these AI tools do is they help you go in a very leveled manner at a pace at which you are learning and in a manner that you learn. Like I said in the beginning, they learn from you about your learning habits and they customize that to your pace. Let's try one because this is going to be interesting. I mean, all of us are fearful of giving technology right in the hands of our students. However, let's just try something over here. Let's go with this. Okay. Um, act like my maths coach and guide me a way to master one step linear equations. Let me try something simpler. Um, let's say multiplying three-digit numbers with two-digit numbers. I am not so good with multiplication tables. So help me practice and I can handle not more than five sums at one time. So plan a practice work for me for a week to master the concept. Simple. I'm not given my grade, but that's fine. Let's see what it does. So, what this does is it gives me the power to be absolutely honest to this tool because this is a conversation between me and my AI tool. Knows me very well because I've been doing multiple things on it. It understands my nature, my behavior by now. So, look, it helps me setting my goals. Remember where we started? Yeah, it helps me build my skill. It gives me positive words to look at. Yeah. Now, weekly plan would be warm up with your multiplication tables. Focus on multiplication tables from 1 to 5. Activity would be solve 5 simple problems. Now, it's sticking to what I'm saying. It's not negotiating with me. It's telling me that this is something that you can do. Next step would be, this. And then, now, do you see what simple steps it's starting with? And it's helping me master slowly and steadily through the week. And at the end, it's even giving me a challenge solve 5 tricky problems. Yeah. Now, it has given me want to start today. Okay, let's go with day one. Once you're done with this, we will move with day two tomorrow. Now, what this will do is, let's say I'm going to say, okay, here are my responses corrected. I'm just going to give very random ones. Here are my responses. See if these are correct. Now, I'm not waiting for anyone to tell me. I'm just trying to do a few. I'm going to do a few correctly, a few incorrect. Let's say, yes, I've done it. Now, let's see what it says. And one of them is incorrect, right? Now, look what it's telling me. It's giving me a reason. It's telling me why it is not correct. It's also giving me a very positive summary or a feedback. Now, if this, I were to say, okay, give me more to practice because I'm encouraged. I like it. I love the way it's talking to. 5 more to give me 5 more to practice. It's encouraging and it becomes playful, and I can actually practice like this with this tool. Now look at that, yeah. And it says take your time. It's not rushing me. It's not giving me any timed activities. Next, what I can do is I can even say, you know, uh, I've finished my problems. Now you can give me more or give me more tips on multiplication. I think this will be a nice one. Yeah. So I take some tips on multiplication from it. Now this becomes like a conversation between me and my AI tool. Now, to know your tables, what is it I can do? It's giving me multiple various ways in which I can be better. And now it's going to create a practice worksheet for me. Great, fantastic. Create me a practice worksheet. This way, I'm not relying on any external factor. I'm not telling anybody. However, I'm making a significant effort to be better at this concept or a particular skill that I'm trying to, hone. So, what I'm trying to tell you here is these kind of tools, if provided in a safe environment, this is enterprise level security that it is giving me. It's giving me a data protection that is enterprise level. I'm using my M365 account for it. And if I'm using this, I think this is one of the ways, in a very safe way, in which I can take forward my learning in a very personalized manner and in a very safe manner. And we can be confident of using tools that allow us to work absolutely uh, you know, discreetly, yet progress in the path that we have chosen. Yeah. So I'm going to pause here. If you have any questions, I think I've given you a lot to think about. If you have any questions, I'm happy to answer. A gentle reminder, the clock has started absolutely ticking from today because 31st July, your applications for MI Expert and Showcase School will close. So if you haven't really started preparing, this is your gentle reminder to please go ahead and begin filing in your application. There's a complete rubric. The blue elements in this rubric are new. Do pay attention to that while you're giving in your Showcase School applications. We are here to guide you, help you any which way that you want. For MI experts, these are the parts that you need to complete. Please make sure that you have completed these, and there is a Word document there for you to complete. I can give you a link for these in your chat window. Happy to share that with you. But if there's anything else that you would like to or us to talk, I'm happy to talk. I'm going to pause here to see if there are any questions or thoughts. This is your time to ask these questions right away. Type them away, raise your hand. Would love to give you this space to talk. And here's the link for MIA Expert Program and Showcase School Program. Explore. And of course, you can take a test today. I'm going to pause the screen here, give you this link in the chat window so that you can take your test. Once you have taken the test, do remember you have to earn 80% marks and then pay rupees 200 at the given link so that you're able to get your certificate for this session. It is not mandatory. It is absolutely optional for you whether you would like to take this test or not. But based on what you have learned today, we have a test allocated for you. You can go ahead, take a test now. And I will wait for your thoughts, comments, queries to come in if you have any. I'm here to answer those questions. And of course, if you're looking for any sessions, I think you're running heavily on PD right now. Absolutely adore and absolutely respect the way schools, have taken it upon themselves to train teachers. And we are constantly getting requests for various sessions. Here's, our portfolio. I mean, we've not even had time to put it on social media for the schools that we have covered in the past few days. We will be putting out on social for the schools that have been covered. Would love to share what we did with them. But if you're interested and you want to invite us, we are happy to, host these sessions for your school as well. And about these sessions, you can learn on our different channels. The first one is a YouTube link. You can find recording of all the sessions over there. They're always parked there. And you have our Insta handle and our WhatsApp group as well. I'm sure you're a part of it. If you're not, here's a link for you. And I'll give these also in the chat window so that you have them handy. Just a second. I will also request you to kindly give us a feedback before you leave. I will request for your feedback. Uh, Here you go. We have given you these in the chat window. And of course, this is our calendar for July. I will drop this as well in the chat window so that you know what we are doing week after week, and you can come back for these sessions. So, in that breath, next week we will be talking about uh, what did I write? Digit? Oh, goodness. That's a digital, actually. Digital trust and AI, teaching ethics and responsibility. Extremely important. What to do? I'm going to talk about this on 8th of July. Do come back, and we'll see you here. If you have any questions, we are very happy to answer. But if you want to leave, we're going to draw this session to a close now. Thank you so very much for joining us here today. I don't see any questions coming in, but thank you so much. It's always a pleasure to see you here. I will see you next on 8th of July with a new topic. Thank you. Have a wonderful week ahead.